How's everybody doing? Welcome to this new series on how to tan a hide. In this series, I'm going to take a beaver hide from a skinned out pelt all the way through to a finished product. We will be tanning our hides using New Tan. So this is not affiliated with them or sponsored by any way, but that's just the stuff I found I can get in a gallon and tan a whole bunch of hides. So I'm going to take about 2 dozen of these hides and take them from the fleshing on to the finished product. So there's a handful of steps we're going to do that is just very, very common practice. We're going to go ahead and flesh them out. We'll salt the hide for a couple of days, get all the impurities out of it, all the natural oils that will rot the hide. We'll draw them out with the salt, then we'll do a saltwater bath, which does pretty much the same thing. It actually helps rehydrate the hide a little bit also. And then we will we'll clean them up, apply our tanning solution, and that's about it. That's the simple steps of tanning a hide. Now, once it's at that point where it's tanned, you have a couple options. You could leave it as a wall hanger type deal where it's pretty hard, pretty stiff, or you can break the hide down, and we're going to do both just so you can see the process. So basically that's it. I've got my fleshing beam set up right over here, and that's where most of this work's going to take place, is in the shop. So let's head on over. Okay, here we go. I got me a 2-year-old beaver here. I got a fleshing knife. This one is a caribou knife. Looks like Canada 128 CFDE. This knife I've had for several years, and it is still just as good as the day I bought it. I fleshed hundreds and hundreds of animals with it, small and big game animals. So I just went through a mountain lion with it yesterday, and it worked really good. So anyways, I'm going to start at the head. This is not a fleshing lesson. I'm just going to kind of give you a quick idea of what I'm doing. I'm going to start at the head. I put my nose on here. Here's the ears, and we're going to go from here. There's a dull side and a sharp side. I'm going to start with the dull side. I'll use the sharp side as I need. And I'm just going to walk through this. It's not a fleshing lesson. Just kind of give you an idea of what I'm doing. I want to get scraped through into the good spot. So see, you can see here, these beavers, this is the belly of the beaver here on each side, and that fur is really, really thin. So guys, got to be real careful when you're going at it. You get down into here, or get down into a different area, you can easily put some pressure on it, but right here I don't want to rip. See, this part can rip, so I'm just going to push real gentle like. So we're going to do this more than once. We're going to that's one thing I found that has been helpful with my tanning, is I'm going to flesh it clean once, and then I'm going to salt it, and I'm going to flesh it again, because there's going to be lots of little gristly parts that don't want to come off. I mean, you could spend an hour fleshing it, or they'll come off on the next process. So that's kind of the benefit of salting them. So pretty thin here, right on the belly. Just keep on working them down. And this is what I'm trying to get to, is this here. See how it's, see how it's a milky clear, or a milky colored? It's all the way down. There's no membrane, there's no nothing left on there. That's what I want this whole hide to look like. See that milky white? That's what we want. So like this little bit of fat right here, I can take it off now or I take it off later. It doesn't matter. It's going to come off. I mean, it's all the more it takes, but that's the point in putting the salt on. So it helps get you traction on some of those areas. I'm just going to work it down. Okay, so here we have our flesh beaver hide. I haven't really done much with the face. As you can see, I'm not really going to do anything with that until the next step. I'm going to go ahead and salt this hide, and that's it. That's step number one. This is what I use for my salt, guys, is right here. It's called American Stockman. It doesn't matter the brand. What matters is it is mixing salt for livestock. And so I buy a big bag. This is a 50-pound bag. I buy that for like $8 at my local feed store. And then this is the process. Give yourself a pretty fair amount of salt, And then I'm just going to rub it into all the nooks and crannies. This is just the first step. We're going to do this a couple more times, so you got we're not worrying about how clean anything is or anything like that. It's just a matter of getting salt everywhere. Every nook and cranny. You can see how much extra I have. I mean, that's it. I got some around the legs, front, back legs. This is not a 2-year-old. This was a kit. So, I thought he was going to go out bigger than that. Fold him in half. Fold him in half. That's it. So now this is going to sit for 24 hours till tomorrow. I'm going to come back out and I'm going to put him back on the flesh and beam, and that salt's going to grip onto some of that extra little fat that didn't want to come off, that we were having a hard time pushing off. The salt kind of grips and it weakens that fat to where it pushes off a little easier. We salt it again. Same process, and we're drawing out those natural oils that are in the hide that are going to rot it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add a kind of a synthetic, well, I don't even know if it's a synthetic, but it's a different oil that does not rot the hide. So that's it. That's the first step. Second step, we're almost there. It's been 24 hours. I've got these beavers watered up here. I got a whole pile of them that have did, and they're all salted, so I'm going to scrape them off. What I want you to pay attention to is the color of the hide. So when we started, there was quite a bit of red to them. There's still some in here, but it's starting to really turn white, and that's what we want. We're drawing all that unnatural oil, or all the natural oil, out. So let me get the camera set up over there. I'll scrape this off and we'll do it again. So this is the last time we'll be fleshing it. So we're going to kind of clean up stuff that we want to really make sure we get it nice and clean here this go around. Get this little bits of membrane off here like that. See that? Just take her on down. See, right around that front leg I had some. There's this here I could shave off. I want. Then like this piece right here, this is kind of the second time we're cleaning that off right here. See, that doesn't, it's a lot easier once you get some salt on there. You get some grit almost to work with. It gives you traction to some of that. I'm not going to take too much time on the head, but we are going to clean a little more off like that. The heads of these, some of these we're just cutting off anyways, so. I got a little bit of fat I'd like to take off of right there. Just like that. I can get a different angle of it. Just like that. Get the rest of this scraped off. Make sure I get it as clean as I want. The cleaner I get this, the better the tan the can will work, further it will penetrate, better end result we'll have. See this in here? We'll take that off now. Before we would have really had to mess with it, but now it just wants to fall right off. And so we'll notice on this, it's got some pink. In here is white. This has got some pink to it. The more salt we put to it, the whiter it will get. It will draw it out to that natural, just leather looking. So we got them scraped off. I had to go pick me up some more salt. Nothing to this process right here. This is just same deal. Get me a fair amount of salt on there. Just like that. Fold her back up. You can roll it if you want, but that's it. That one's done. We got a whole stack of them here to do. We got the 2 days worth of salting done. Just salted the hide like you just seen, and now we're ready to add them to a saltwater bath. So I'm going to put about 15 gallons of water in here. And then add my salt, kind of mix it up a little bit, and then put them in the drink. It's a pretty simple process here. Okay, looks like we got her all topped off. So I got my Stockman's salt right here. Same stuff I was salting the hides with. And so that's 2 cups. Each deal's 2 cups. I'm going to add a couple of these. When you're tanning anything or doing anything with fur on, water is your enemy. I hear lots of people washing their hides. Great, wash them. Just don't soak them. If they get soaked too long, it loosens up around the hair, and the fur will start slipping. So go ahead and wash them. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a great idea. But just don't let them soak for too long. And that's when we're letting these soak for overnight. We want the salt will help keep them sucked down against the hair follicle. Got my handy dandy mixer. I sell these on my website. They are right now free $99, but I'm out of stock, so check back later or click to notify if you want me to notify you when they're back in stock. So I'm just taking these salted hides. Oops, there's that. They're just the regular salted hides, putting them in here and letting them, they'll just soak up. And I'm going to push them all down to where they're underwater. So how many hides can we put in each deal? It all depends on how much water you put in, how big your hides are, all that. As long as there's water surrounding the hide, fill it up. Put as many as you can fit. I think we've got, so that was like 4 or 5. And then we got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more that we're going to try to fit in here. So, and that's the saltwater bath deal right there. That's all it is. It's pretty simple. We'll close the chapter on this book right here. They've been in here for overnight. I'm going to go ahead and pull them out and add them to our cement mixer / Beaver hide washing machine. So see what we've got. Oh, look at this. They're packed in here to the brim. So here we go. Check how nice and pretty white that thing is. Been in the salt water. All I'm going to do is give it one of these. Add them right into the water. Nice and pretty white. Add them on in here. While I'm waiting on adding all those, I'm going to add some just dish soap. This stuff works excellent. I got 10 gallons of water in here. I'm going to add somewhere around 1/4 to 1/2 cup and fire up the machine, let it wash. So once I get them rinsed off really well, I'm going to go take them, hang them up, let them dry just slightly, and then we will apply the tanning solution. That will be on part 2 of this series, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah!